Let's talk about the greatest prison most folks never even know they're in. See, we've all got this voice chattering away upstairs, commenting, judging, worrying about tomorrow, or chewing on yesterday like an old dog with a bone. Most people think they are that voice, that endless stream of mental noise. But here's the thing, you're not your thoughts any more than you are the weather outside your window. This mind of ours, it's like a wild horse that's never been broken. Useful when you need to get somewhere, but it'll run you ragged if you let it stay in charge all the time. The real trouble starts when we get so tangled up with our thinking that we lose touch with the simple fact of being alive right here, right now. All that mental chatter creates what you might call a pain body. Old hurts and fears that get stuck in us like splinters, feeding off our attention, growing stronger every time we identify with them. But here's the beautiful part. You can step back and watch these thoughts and feelings like clouds passing through the sky. The moment you become the observer instead of the observed, something shifts. You discover there's a stillness underneath all that mental weather. This isn't about becoming some detached monk on a mountain. It's about finding your true power, the awareness that's always been there beneath the surface noise. When you stop fighting the present moment, stop resisting what is, life starts working with you instead of against you. Real peace, real joy, real love. They don't come from getting what you want or avoiding what you fear. They arise naturally when you're connected to this deeper part of yourself. The ego keeps telling us we're incomplete, that we need this or that to be whole. But wholeness was never missing. It was just covered up by all that thinking. So the practice is simple, though not always easy. Notice when you're lost in mental noise and gently bring your attention back to the aliveness you can feel right now. That's where freedom lives. Not in some distant future or perfect circumstance, but in the eternal now that's always available. Die to who you think you are and discover who you really are. There's something peculiar about this moment right here. We spend our lives like restless ghosts, haunting memories that ain't even real anymore, chasing futures that exist only in the fevered imagination of a mind that never learned to sit still. The past? It's nothing but old photographs in your head, and the future's just stories you tell yourself about what might be. But this moment, this breathing, beating, living now, this is all there ever was or will be. See, the mind's got this clever trick. It makes you think you are your thoughts, your worries, your endless mental chatter. But you're not the storm, friend. You're the sky the storm passes through. Every problem you think you have lives in time, either dragging behind you like chains from yesterday or lurking ahead like shadows of tomorrow. But right now, in this present moment, where's the problem? Look around, feel your breath, notice the life pulsing through you. No problem can survive in the full light of now. This isn't some mystical nonsense, it's practical as dirt. When you stop resisting what is, when you quit making enemies of your circumstances, something shifts. The doing becomes effortless, charged with a different kind of energy. You're not pushing against life anymore, you're flowing with it. Time becomes your tool instead of your master. Sure, you still plan, still remember what serves you, but you're not lost in the maze of psychological time. That restless seeking, that constant feeling that something's missing, that you need to be somewhere else, someone else. It dissolves because you realize what you were seeking was never in the future. It was always here, waiting patiently beneath the noise. The mystics and sages knew this secret. Paradise isn't a place you go to. It's what remains when you stop running from where you are. So next time you catch your mind spinning its tales of past and future, just smile. Come back to the breath, come back to the body, come back to this unrepeatable moment. This is where life lives, where joy lives, where peace lives. This is where you live. Always have, always will. They've been selling you presents like it's something you can think your way into, but that's the whole damn joke. Presence isn't what your clever mind believes it to be. It's the space between thoughts, the stillness that watches the mental circus without buying a ticket. Try this experiment right now. Ask yourself what thought comes next. Then wait like a cat at a mouse hole. See that gap? That's where you actually live, not in the endless chatter upstairs. The body. Oh, the poor misunderstood body. Centuries of spiritual seekers treating it like the enemy, when it's actually your doorway home. Feel the aliveness humming beneath your skin right now, that invisible energy field that makes every cell dance. This isn't some mystical nonsense. This is your most practical reality. the anchor that keeps you from drowning in mental storms. When you inhabit your body fully, thoughts can rage like weather outside, but you remain unshaken at the core. Beauty only reveals itself to presence. The mind can label a flower pretty, but only stillness can taste its sacred essence. We live in a mind-dominated culture that produces ugliness because we've forgotten how to access the source of true creativity. Consciousness is playing the grandest game, losing itself completely in form, then awakening to remember what it always was. Most humans are still trapped in the ego's dream, mistaking themselves for their thoughts, their stories, their accumulated pain. But something's shifting on this planet. Presence is taking root through individuals brave enough to step out of mental time. The inner body doesn't age like the outer shell. Inhabit it fully and watch your cells literally lighten, your immune system strengthen. Every relationship fails when it's just minds colliding. But when you listen from your whole being, you give others the rarest gift: space to simply be. This isn't about becoming something new. It's consciousness recognizing itself, coming home to what was never actually lost. The Christ, the Buddha nature, whatever name your tradition prefers, it's not out there waiting to save you. It's the I am that exists before your story begins and after it ends. So breathe into your body, feel the aliveness, and discover you were never separate from the source you've been seeking. The kingdom of heaven isn't coming tomorrow. It's pulsing through your cells right now if you're present enough to feel it. There's a door inside you that most folks never even notice, let alone walk through. We're talking about portals into what this fella calls the unmanifested, that vast, formless realm that's actually your truest home. Now, don't go thinking this is some mystical mumbo-jumbo. It's as practical as breathing, as real as the chair you're sitting on. Your body, this flesh and bone contraption, it's actually your first portal. Feel that energy humming inside your arms, your chest? That's your ticket in. But here's the thing about love and relationships. Most of us are looking for salvation in all the wrong places. We think if we can just find that perfect someone, they'll complete us, heal our wounds, make us whole. What a beautiful disaster that turns out to be. See, when you're still identified with your mind, with your pain body, your relationships become these wild swings between heaven and hell. One minute you're drowning in bliss, the next you're ready to throw dishes. Sound familiar? The truth is simpler and harder than we want to admit. You can't love anybody else until you've found that still point inside yourself. Every argument, every moment of jealousy or control, it's just unconsciousness bumping up against unconsciousness. But there's another way. When you learn to be present, really present, your relationship becomes a spiritual practice. Instead of two needy egos trying to get something from each other, you become space for love to move through. Women, you're naturally closer to this formless realm. Your bodies already know about cycles, about letting go, about the mystery of creation. Men, your challenge is different. You've got to drop out of that thinking mind that wants to control and fix everything. The portal is always here, always now, in the silence between sounds, in the space around objects, in that gap between thoughts. You don't need perfect circumstances or the ideal partner. You need to stop waiting for life to happen and start being alive right where you are. Because here's the secret they don't tell you. You're already whole. You're already home. You just forgot how to feel it. Stop looking for yourself in other people's eyes. Stop trying to complete yourself through romance or achievement or anything outside. The love you're seeking? It's not out there. It's the very essence of what you are, underneath all the noise and drama. Wake up to this moment, this breath, this presence that you are. Everything else is just waves on the ocean. Here's something that'll twist your mind like a pretzel at Sunday dinner. We spend our whole lives chasing happiness like dogs after their own tails. But there's something deeper waiting beneath all that fuss and bother. See, happiness needs things to go your way. Sunny skies, full pockets, people saying nice things about you. But peace? Peace don't need nothing from nobody. It just sits there, quiet as snow, whether the world's burning down or building itself up. Now here's the rub. We think we know what's good and what's bad, like we're holding the master plan of the universe in our back pocket. But life's got this funny way of teaching us through the very things we'd rather throw in the garbage. Sometimes it's the broken heart that opens us up, the lost job that finds us, the closed door that shows us we had wings all along. The mind loves to sort everything into neat little boxes. good over here, bad over there. But when you stop fighting what is, when you quit wrestling with reality like it owes you something, a strange thing happens. You discover this vast stillness underneath all the noise, this unshakable peace that don't depend on circumstances behaving themselves. It's like being a deep lake. Storms can rage on the surface, but way down below, everything's calm as a sleeping child. The ego loves its drama, feeds on it like a fire feeds on wood. But when you stop adding fuel to that fire, when you stop making every little thing into a life or death situation, the drama just dies out. Nothing left to argue with, nothing left to resist. And here's the beautiful part. When you find that peace in yourself, you become like a tuning fork for everyone around you. People feel it without knowing why, animals sense it, even the trees seem to lean in a little closer. You're not trying to fix the world anymore, you're just being the change, quiet as morning light. That's real compassion, friends. Not the kind that gets all worked up about everything, but the kind that sees through the surface storms to the eternal calm beneath. When enough of us wake up to this truth, well, that's when the whole world starts to shift. Here's something that'll twist your mind a bit. Surrender ain't giving up. Most folks hear that word and think defeat. Think throwing in the towel when life gets rough. But real surrender? That's something else entirely. It's like this. You're walking through fog at night with a flashlight. That beam cutting through the darkness? That's your present moment awareness? The fog swirling all around? That's your life situation, past and future, tangled up together. Now here's the thing about resistance. It's the mind saying no to what already is. You stub your toe, you curse the universe. Traffic jam, you steam and fume. But that gap between what your mind demands and what's actually happening, that's where suffering lives. Surrender means accepting this exact moment right now without conditions. Doesn't mean you become a doormat or stop taking action. Hell no. You take action, but different action. Clear action. Conscious action. See, when you're fighting reality, you're fighting with one hand tied behind your back. When you accept what is, suddenly you've got access to a different kind of energy. It's like the difference between swimming against a riptide and flowing with the current. Your relationships change when you stop trying to fix everyone. Your work becomes something else when it's not born from desperation or anger. Even illness, even disaster, becomes a doorway when you stop resisting it. The ego thinks resistance is strength, but it's actually what cuts you off from real power. That voice in your head telling you to fight everything? That's not you. You're the awareness watching that voice, the consciousness behind all the mental noise. Some folks only learn this through suffering, what they call the way of the cross. Life beats them down until they've got no choice but to let go. But here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to wait for disaster. You can choose presence right now, this moment, this breath. When you do, you discover something that was never actually lost. Call it peace, call it being, call it coming home to yourself. The question isn't whether you can surrender. It's how much more pain you need before you do. Time and pain dance together, but presence? Presence stops the music. So here we are, you and me, in the only moment that ever really exists. What'll it be?